generally the cruising is like 83. The Mighty Ginger is probably at 95, but he's got a car for that.
My favorite car feature
Mustang.
The car feature I want that I don't have is that I can pour myself into the car and it just takes me where I need to go. Without having to be conscious at all. But I think that's actually called some kind of bondage ride share. I don't know what that is because I wouldn't trust
bondage ride share.
Not bondage, bonded.
No, I am totally with the bondage ride share now. I think we need to go ahead and start detailing what exactly that entails.
Story idea. You know what? I'm going to give up
Uber,
now.
what?
I'm just going to give up. Uber who?
Get pulled over for speeding. Can you step out of the car? No, officer, I can't. I'm all tied up.
No, officer, I need to ask permission.
101 KOL.
Only if Mistress V says I can.
101 KLOL here had the traffic report with traffic and bondage. They always made these whip sounds whenever you're supposed to treat something as a four-way stop. It was hilarious. It was bad. Anyway, yeah. That was the 80s. That was my childhood. You gotta love it. Okay, I guess we should go ahead and say howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Robot Society. I'm Paul E. Cooley. Joining me today, as always, Veronica Jagger and Terry Mixon. Hello. How are you two?
Good. Far behind of where I should be writing, but I'm still good.
Uh-oh. Everything's fine. There's flames falling down. This is fine. Everything's fine.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
We're fine. How are you?
It's okay, Terry. I'm sure the holidays coming up will give you plenty of spare time.
Well, the deadline is the 23rd, so I feel confident that the editor's not actually going to lay eyes on it for a couple of days after that anyway. Because, yeah, Christmas Eve, Christmas, all of those little holiday things, that's probably going to be disruptive.
It's probably not going to get started like January 3rd.
Well,
maybe
that would be rough because I don't know precisely when the release date is, but it's probably within 2 weeks of when I turn it over. So they can't delay that long.
And you have to think, is the person that you're turning it over to, do they really want to spend time with the family, or will they need an excuse? Will, your manuscript be the excuse they need to hold up and go, oh, no, I got to work. Really?
How much do they loathe their family at this point? That's a really good question.
I know the editor a little bit. And while I don't know what her relationship with her family is, she strikes me as the kind of person that would probably be very into Christmas and family. So I'm not thinking she's going to avoid family for editing.
You better hope Fair not, enough. Buttercup.
In any case, I still am on course to go ahead and make up the ground I have lost and be ready to turn it in on time.
Cool. Well, that's awesome.
Excellent.
On the other hand, Nefertiti has run into trouble here in the house and her acclimatization. She is now fully loose, but Sassy is not taking well to her. Sassy is jealous.
Oh no, your little floofy alpha female is like, no, there's too much charisma with this new cat. We must fight. I have a nemesis.
Sassy is now restricted to upstairs because she has furballed Nefertiti 3 times in the last 2 days. Chased, the whole brown cat's doing all this fighting.
Oh.
She has chased her and outright attacked her 3 times.
Oh.
Mostly upstairs. Nefertiti still wants to come up here, but Sassy says, no, this is Daddy's place and you can't have it. He's mine.
What other kind of chat is it, Brett?
All right.
If you'd have been a little earlier before the show, you could have been to Car Chat, which is like the show.
Car Talk?
Car Talk. That's it, Car Talk. Car Talk.
I was going to say, we said all this shit in the pre-show, but we didn't actually talk about anything in the pre-show that related to us personally. It was all just garbage that was going on.
That's not true. I talked about how I need to buy a car in the next 3 or 4 years.
It wasn't personal because it led into this whole bullshit of this, that, and the other, and yada, yada.
My current vehicle, let me go ahead and put this out there. My current vehicle is a 1999 Ford Ranger pickup truck with a standard transmission and absolutely nothing electronic. It is all your bottom basement stuff. Roll down the windows manually. There's no electronic anything.
Mare, she ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. It needs a bullet in the head, dude.
Well, ironically, I've driven a Standard almost my entire life. I did not go looking for this particular truck. My wife bought it off of our niece when she was going overseas because the niece wasn't going to be able to maintain payments on it and be out of the country. And so I had a couple of years where I had a car that did not have a Standard, and then back into a Standard I went. So I will absolutely be thrilled when I can go ahead and trade up to something a little bit more modern.
Something made this.
I want something that goes bling, bling, bling. Grandpa, turn off the blinker.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Somehow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, V, do you have anything that's not involving cars?
Yeah, actually. I have, let's see, I'm gonna finish up my week's pages.
Uh-oh.
Page and a half. I got a page and a half of writing to do before this evening. So I'll still hit my my weekly quota of 10 handwritten pages.
Yay!
Yay! And I delivered another audiobook Thursday. Yeah,
cool.
Delivered an audiobook Thursday. Did pickups on Friday and nearly lost my mind because so I had a project, and I'm generally pretty good about pickups and corrections. But for some reason, I got a list of the corrections that I think were included on the engineers' sides. They were like pops and noises that I'm looking at going, I think they can be filtered out. But I was told, no, they can't be filtered out. And rather than push back, I'm like, okay, this is how you want to play? I will record all of these things. I'm that person. I figured, okay, you want all 178? Sure, all 178 pickups.
Oh my God.
Probably a third of the ones were because a character's name got mispronounced.
Okay.
Because I didn't get the name pronunciation, so that was fun. I get lesson learned, and the so I record into Adobe Audition. For those who don't use Audition, it's a non-destructive digital audio workstation, which means that, the way I explained it, you get a session file. And the session file is kind of like a table of contents. And every piece you record from hitting record and stop is a little WAV file. And then your session file, your table of contents, goes and organizes everything in order. When you do pickups, you're literally just going through, reading a line, putting in a marker, pausing, reading another line. So I'm doing this, but keep in mind, I've got 178 of these. That means this session file winds up having over 210 individual wave clips that have to be mixed down and sequenced together. And it's Adobe, which is a memory hog. So
I would
Adobe
say piece of shit, but that's just me.
So Adobe goes and freezes up on me. And I'm like, oh crap. But I don't panic because I've got autosave and I'm generally saving through. My eggs might come back and I open up the file. All of the individual WAV files are there, but I only have the first 5 with the markers sitting there. The first 5 out of the 172 I had recorded up to that point.
Is there a better program to use than Adobe Audition?
Oh, there are many. There are many. It's just, how you learn how to use a program, and it's what you know how to use, and all your presets are there.
It might be time to bite.
It might be time to bite the bullet and upgrade.
But I mean, so I, of course,
doesn't help you
walk
now.
Out of the booth, scream, curse pretty much out, curse everyone involved with the project except for the author because I love the book, and thought, you know what, I'm gonna go get lunch. So I make myself a sandwich. And then I steel myself to have to go and piece the whole thing together by hand And so I go and reboot the computer, open everything back up, and lo and behold, it is all actually sitting there in order.
Mm-hmm.
So
quick, save everything! Save everything!
So I pretty much went, compile. Give me the whole WAV file now before anything else happens, and I send it off. And my
wait, what about the few at the end that you hadn't gotten to yet?
I wound up opening a second session file, recording those 4, mixing those down, then just like copy pasting into the last thing. So at the end of it, I had everything, but I pretty much the mental energy, you know, when you have something really bad go wrong in like the early middle of your day, and it's just like, I cannot function anymore. That's it. I'm done. And I pretty much shut down everything in my office, grabbed my notebook, and took myself to the park to walk and play Pokemon Go. That's how I operate.
What does a handwritten page translate to when typed?
That's a good question. Between 150 and 200 words, I think. I write really small. So.
Okay.
I'll check. I'm trying not to type everything in because I will get stuck in. I've learned that anything I can do to lower the barrier to getting stuff done is the best thing for me. So I'm trying not to type stuff up. Maybe when I get to 50 pages, I'll try to key it up. But I'm usually about 150, 200 words. So those 10 pages, I'm anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 words per week, which, given everything else I'm doing, is just fine. So that was my drama.
You have all sorts of drama.
Duh.
Well, I think I've finally won the great food war of 2023. So I think Shadow and I have come to an understanding that he will either eat or starve to death. I think that's where we've gotten to. I think it's a fair understanding. We've chosen our sides. My side is I've given you all sorts of different foods. You eat all of them, but you refuse to eat all of them. Eat or die. Don't care anymore. Fuck off. Anyway, so I think I've won the great food war by exhausting all other options other than just, taking him to the vet and say, fix this. In which case they'll just hand it back and say, what do you want? It's a cat. Anyway, so the great food war, I'm gonna claim victory and retreat slowly away from it. But I did get the End of Extinction written.
Woo-hoo.
Now, I will put the end in very big air quotes. I figured out that until I go back and flesh out a couple of things, I can't figure out how to write the coda. So we're not at the coda point yet, or as you might want to call it, the epilogue. But I think I want it to be more of a coda than an epilogue. I want to kind of smooth down a little bit. So now I started going back through it. I've edited and rewritten, I guess, 23K so far. Then we'll get back on that tonight. But I went back into my track 9 file from Plotter and started making some notes there, as I promised I would get back to that book. So I've been working on that as well. And other than that, I guess not too much is going on. But, writing the end of something wasn't really the end. Even that was cathartic. I have to steel myself for the actual end where I have to say, oh, here are the ramifications of everything that just happened. Because think about that.
Feel the consequences of your actions.
Here are the consequences of, did we really gain anything by doing the things that we did the way we did them? Was there another way to do them? Does it matter? Who's going to jail? Who's going to get shot? And what country is going to crumble? That's basically what it comes down to. So I have to figure all that out, and that will kind of lead into some other questions people have about the Derelict Saga. That's all I'm going to say right there. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that, though.
We're not?
What are we here to talk about?
We are here to talk about Die Hard.
Die Hard? I thought this was the Festivus show.
No, this was not the Festivus show.
You can't air your grievances yet.
Damn it.
That's next week's show where you air your grievances.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure that I heard that grievances are going to be aired today. I heard it. It's right there in the title. Holiday Diatribe. Grievances will be had.
But I mean, I'm looking at this, and if we're going by the calendar when Festivus is, because it really is the date.
It's December 23rd.
Right.
December 23rd is Festivus.
So that would mean it's not the next show, but the show after that.
Oh, right.
The airing of grievances,
Yeah,
which actually, when there is a call for topics, yes, there should be an airing of grievances.
All right. I wrote this as a holiday diatribe because the reason why I brought up Die Hard was so we could actually get into a conversation about this. Die Hard is not the entire episode. But you guys brought this up in the Evil Hosts channel, so I'm just going to say this. Is Die Hard a holiday movie? Is it a
Hell yeah. Movie? Hell yeah.
Why?
Of course it is.
Because I like it as an idea of a holiday movie. What is a holiday movie? It's one that gets you in the holiday spirit. What gets you more in the holiday spirit than seeing Hans Gruber fall off Nakatomi Tower?
Welcome to the party, pal!
Well, okay, so, but seriously, it's because the plot of the movie requires the holiday. It would not work as well if, in this
the ho line.
Even that, but the premise of the holiday party, the discomfort around the holidays with that relationship and all of the other expectations, it wouldn't work if it was just, a Friday in September.
But is a holiday movie one that just happens to fall on the date of a holiday, or is it one that encompasses the spirit of the holiday? It seems like that would be kind of important.
I think the spirit in question in Die Hard is the triumph at the end. And they're basically bringing the family back together again, the whole 9 yards. All of that is all indicative of Christmas, of that spirit of everybody getting together, the holidays, and going to grandma's house and all that horse shit. It's all part of that. That's what I think about it. And because it has a fucking happy ending.
It may not be your stereotypical holiday movie.
No, it's not.
It's you don't have, powerful, strong women going back to hometowns and picking up guys that wear flannel, instead of their hometown, big town guys in suits. But, that's what I was thinking the entire time you're wearing flannel. I was going to say this. But in any case.
Oh, I constantly joke that my son is one flannel shirt away from a Hallmark movie since he works at a Christmas tree lot right now.
You should make him wear flannel. No, but in any case.
Oh, he has a few of them. But yeah.
I think that while it's a stretch to go ahead and say Die Hard is a holiday movie, I think it technically falls within the spectrum of being a holiday movie.
I think it's
not a Beautiful Life or whatever the show is.
Wonderful Life.
A Wonderful Life.
Favorite.
But it's still there.
My in-laws' favorite Christmas movie is Badder Santa. Bad Santa's not bad enough. It has to be the Badder Santa.
Oh God, what is it? My wife just showed me this morning a show that she had seen that I hadn't. That apparently involves like a Home Alone scenario with Santa and a group of mercenaries.
Oh, that movie.
Is that Violent Night?
Violent Night. That's the one. She wants me to see that, and I want to see it. And I'm like, oh yeah. So is Violent Night a holiday movie? Absolutely, it is.
Mm-hmm. And like
it's Die Hard.
Yeah.
And what did she say? The Keanu Reeves assassin. What is his character's name?
John Wick.
John Wick. It's John Wick instead of Die Hard in the Santa movie.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, so my favorite Christmas movie is The Muppet Christmas Carol because I am that person, but also because it is Michael Caine's finest performance ever. Because the level of gravitas that he brings to speaking to Muppets so eloquently. My goodness, that's Fezziwig's Rubber Chicken Factory.
Somebody had suggested on Facebook the other day that they needed to go ahead and have another Muppet movie, maybe like the Christmas special, I think it was they were talking about. But instead of doing it the way they normally do it, go ahead and have live actors doing all the parts, but the voices are the Muppets. So you'd have like Jason Momoa being Miss Piggy. And I would pay money to see this. I would pay serious money to see this.
That sounds like so much brain damage.
Man. That would be awesome. Although, no, I think... Oh, there's so much possibility.
It was a D&D movie. They wanted to have a D&D movie with live action actors, but the Muppets doing all the voices of the characters. That's what it was.
Yes. And Brett, you're absolutely right, because the Muppet Christmas Carol works because Michael Caine treats the Muppets as hardcore actors, and the Muppets treat him like another Muppet. And
never seen it.
It was great. It's marvelous. What else?
I love
Mighty Ginger's favorite Christmas movie is A Christmas Story.
Oh yeah, we have to watch that one on,
Yeah.
It used to be on TBS or whatever, 24 hours a day for for days.
Yeah.
Brett brought up a Black Christmas, which is a slasher film, which is also a holiday movie. Christmas is extremely central to the plot.
Or if you want to pull up one that's not Christmas, but is still a holiday movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Absolutely. Anything Thanksgiving related.
And Snuppy brought up, don't let Disney destroy another piece of my childhood. They certainly have destroyed a lot of live action stuff over the years. And it may be a bad thing to ask for another live action Disney movie.
But I'm sorry, Muppet Treasure Island. That was, granted, that was my high school breakup recovery movie, because you can't be sad about somebody dumping you when you're watching Tim Curry just the entire way through.
See you, Tim.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Well, the reason we brought this up, I guess, is not just for the diehard, not what makes this. Can you take one of your properties and make a holiday story for it?
You mean like the Star Wars Christmas special?
Hopefully something that's not a turd like that.
Whoa.
So I'm thinking more specifically like Frost at Christmas. If you know the excellent series Inspector Frost, both BBC version and the books, but Frost at Christmas is essentially a book about a really dreary Christmas for a guy who's basically got it on his own and got no family and finds his way through the shit. What?
My wife is busy watching. My wife just watched all of the issues that are currently out of The Boys and is now watching the spin-off series. So I'm thinking about The Boys Christmas special.
Oh, no. There is such a thing?
There is not. But think about how awesome it might be. You could have Carl Urban being the guy there just cussing up everything as part of it. Have you seen Carl Urban in this show, The Boys?
I have not. I have not seen it. I remember
he has a mouth on him.
Behind.
He has a mouth on him.
Carl Urban is amazing, and Bones was hot. I'll lay that out.
He's
there.
all bearded and dark, and he's a vigilante that's on his way to becoming a villain in this show, it looks like, to me anyway. And he's a very dark character, and I could just imagine him in a Christmas special, and it would be awesome.
A Punisher Christmas.
Considering the first couple of episodes of The Boys, they had to figure out how they were going to kill a superhero that was invulnerable, and it involved taking a bomb and shoving it up his butt and then setting it off. Let's just say that was a graphic death right there.
See, that's what I wanted to go for. Could you have Christmas with Empire of Bones, and would it work?
I'm not sure that it would work all that well. Maybe?
The challenge, I think the challenge is you'd have to have a precedent set for how holidays work. Like conventional holidays as we see them here. You'd have to have set up how that works in that universe. Otherwise, it's like, wait, what do you mean this group celebrates this holiday? That doesn't make sense. But oh my God, what happened to the elves?
It took
Why do these elves smell like bacon?
That's not coal in that stocking.
Oh my God. Oh, I wish I could write that. I really wish I could, but I can't.
Gosh. Now I'm thinking like the
secondary
song
characters roasting on an open fire.
Just, out in PNG, you get the "How'd you like to spend Christmas on Christmas Island?" And then you got the boat just rocking out there, and little yacht, and then that's what it would sound like. Just.
We were talking about getting holidays together with derelicts. It would be Federation Day. I would imagine would be the only holiday that they would really recognize as it would be the day Soulfed came into existence. Although there might be a couple more that I could come up with, but since I haven't mentioned them, but it would be kind of fun to make a callback to that, because if you have read the Derelict Saga, you'd realize how ironically it would be celebrated.
I want to see the Christmas show from the Hunger Games universe.
Ooh.
It could work.
No, it could work. It would be like, ooh. That would,
Talk about the haves and have-nots.
Yeah, that would be uncomfortable.
Which is kind of the point.
True. Yep, it came upon a midnight clear, totally new meaning.
Oh, wait a minute. We're not going to dinosaur porn with this, are we?
No, it's major porn. That's a totally different vibe.
Chuck Tingle is going to be mad.
Oh, God. No, Garaga would actually be a good one to write a Christmas story for. That would be hilarious, actually. That could get really, really ugly.
I'm having terrible ideas that are almost sacrilegious. This is.
Oh no! All the ideas I have are borderline or way over the line sacrilegious. So don't worry about it. I went there first.
It just seems that there are a lot of properties that lend themselves to supporting a holiday-themed spin-off. Some of them just don't. Some of them, they don't really have the background of a holiday to support them.
BSG would not have Celebrate Christmas because it's not in their pantheon. Literally, it's not in their pantheon.
Yeah. Well, even if it wasn't, they could have a holiday movie of some kind,
sure,
but it would be a tough sell.
It wouldn't make any sense. It really wouldn't make any sense. Unless it was like a Boxing Day kind of thing.
Well, I'm not even talking about, we could say generic holiday X.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what the holiday is. It would be a tough sell because for Battlestar Galactica to bring it into a holiday movie, you'd have to involve the Cylons in some way. And that's a tough sell.
Oh, God, no. That would be a problem. The Mighty Ginger's Christmas Cookies.
Why don't we have the Mighty Ginger's Christmas Cookies?
To be fair, when the Mighty Ginger and I were playing City of Heroes a lot more often, he did create a tank character that was the gingerbread. It was Gingerbread Man, and he had to play with me and my other writing group, and all of us are role players, and he is not. So he just wound up creating this little 4'0" foul-mouthed thing that was making every horrible baking innuendo about bread and eclairs and frosting and icing and filling. And I was just sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, you cannot play with my friends anymore. This is terrible." And they loved it.
I have to ask, because this has been coming up on Distractable, so it's in my head. Has he ever seen, or have you ever seen, the Ginger Dead Man?
No. Okay, well, I haven't, but that's not surprising. He might have.
About a gingerbread cookie that's possessed with the soul of Gary Busey.
Yowza.
And it murders people.
Anything possessed by the soul of Gary Busey is awesome.
It's extremely derisive and unpleasant to deal with.
Does it have to be Gary Busey? I mean, couldn't it be somebody else?
It's Gary Busey voicing it. voicing the Ginger Dead Man.
Wow.
I shit you not, this movie exists. See, right there. The Ginger Dead Man is a classic. And I think the second one is Saturday Night Cleaver, and then there's a third one, and then there's a Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong. It's apparently a very popular series. I've never watched it myself.
I will not look at Christmas cookies the same way again.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and change the subject slightly and ask, how would your intellectual property be changed if Gary Busey possessed one of your characters? And who would it be?
Oh, right. Passion of the Crust. Ginger Dead Man 8, Passion of the Crust.
No. No. Oh my goodness. No.
Oh, come on. So now you have something new to look forward to.
No, I already found the ridiculousness in Korean dramas and demons losing their tattoos and CEOs gaining the tattoos, and it's just ridiculous. If you ever, I've been watching Korean dramas as like a complete disconnect of what I'm writing, what I'm voicing, and I found one that was it's a paranormal romance sort of thing, but the scenery chewing is just ridiculous, and the pausing and looking longingly, and you're like, I get it, I'm being like hit over the head with the message, can we please move on? But let's see,
if Gary Busey possessed Jared, would he finally be the main character others have suggested?
You know, having Gary Busey as possessing Jared would be an experience, and JR would deserve whatever happened to him after that.
Can we just say that all this really takes is, in my humble estimation, a lot of LSD, some meth, and some ecstasy, and then basically you've got Gary Busey. You just mix it all together, add Jack Daniels, and stir.
Yeah.
Brett says, if you wrote a Christmas-centered story, would it sell well throughout the year?
It's weird. Like some people will put those on, like they'll write them and put them on sale, so they'll be up like end of September, early October, because people want to like, oh, I want to have something to read. But some people like just having something cozy to read no matter what. So
I would say
cozy mysteries sell well. So there you are.
Yeah.
I would say it really depends on how you market it. It also depends, is the book really about Christmas, or is Christmas just a backdrop? You know, and that's two different things, two very different things. Regardless of how the story ends up, or whether it has a happy ending or whatever bullshit it is, there's a big difference. Is it the setting, or is it part of the story?
Or is it part of a series?
And if the book is, all bets are off.
Because hang on, let me check what it's over here on my bookshelf.
Well, like I mentioned, Frost at Christmas. It's just another Frost book. It happens to take place during Christmas time. And basically that author does it by seasons. So it made sense to do one at that particular time. But that's the other thing. Wouldn't a summer read well all over the year, sell well over the year? A summer book, a fall book, a spring book, a winter book?
Yeah.
One of these issues, you may watch Die Hard in the summer. Would you watch Muppet Christmas Carol in July?
Good point.
It's interesting.
That's So the series that I was thinking of, it's a contemporary romance, and it's very well done. It's Trad Pub, the Bromance Book Club, which is it's a good premise. I've talked about it before, but the fourth or fifth book in the series is a very merry bromance, and it winds up hitting, I think, fourth or fifth in the series, but it uses characters that have come up through the first and second and third books. So if you're reading if you're reading through, then you're going to read it anyway.
Right.
But it's clearly, I mean, there's a Christmas tree on the cover. It's clearly a Christmas book.
Again, I think it just depends how you market it and where you're coming from. Not all. It just depends on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there is no one size fits all answer. Brett says he's in the Bromance Book Club.
I believe it.
I have no response to this. None whatsoever. What would you not make into a Christmas movie? What would you not try and shoehorn in?
There's a lot of things I wouldn't try to shoehorn in.
Give me the greatest example of a train wreck.
That's not Star Wars? I mean,
could you have done that thing and not made it a joke?
Which IP would it have been that I would say that? Let's see.
BSG with Cylons, definitely.
I don't know.
I think BSG with Colonials and Cylons having a Christmas day. I think that would just be no, absolutely no. That would be a problem.
I could think of one offbeat one that would make a decent one. Remember, years and years ago, they used to have they did a movie with the character was a detective that was a monk that lived back in the Middle Ages. That was played by oh God, what's his name? Mr. James Bond, but I've forgotten.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery played the leading role.
Name of the Rose.
That's the one. That could have done a Christmas theme very well.
There's actually a series of books. Was it Brother Cadfael or something
Brother
like
Cadfael.
that? Yeah, there we go. That it does exactly that. I don't know if it has any Christmas stuff. I don't even know if that was a thing back then.
But yeah, that kind of thing could shoehorn in pretty well. But I'm thinking, I don't know that I could pick one off the top of my head that would be a poor fit, bad poor fit.
A James Bond Christmas.
It could be terrible, but the thing is, it's still contemporary. So you've got it's not like BSG where Christmas doesn't really have an analog. Whereas in your contemporary James Bond universe, you're gonna have, it's conceivable that others around Mr. Bond are having Christmas. He's not, because he's James Bond and can't have time for it. But
well, to be fair, they did a James Bond movie that was a spoof of being a James Bond movie.
The original Casino Royale.
The original Casino Royale.
Woody Allen one. Yeah, that was bad. Oh my God, that was bad. Fucking dreadful. Ugh. Peter Sellers should be ashamed. Anyway, I think he's dead now. He's a little bit beyond my shaming him.
He doesn't care about you or what you think.
No, why would he? Why should he? Are you kidding?
Really, Bo?
David Nivens is James Bond. Yeah. Whatever. So about this diatribe, what makes a bad holiday narrative?
One that doesn't involve the themes of Christmas. If you're looking at having a story that does not involve themes of coming back together and family and all the things that make Christmas what Christmas is, but you still make a novel about it and call it a Christmas story, then it's a bad one. It's like having a romance without the happy ever after.
Man, you keep ruining my want to write romance. You just ruin it every time.
Well, when you write the romance and you have the monster eat both of them, that is not exactly a happy ending.
But they're together forever in small pieces and digestive juices, but they're together forever.
It's like
Little Shop of Horrors. That was sort of a romance.
That is a romance.
See?
That is a romance. Just not with who you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody's scam freaked out.
But I think there's I remember that. But the
Christmas
many
commercial. Yeah. That's actually Violent Night, isn't it? Pretty much. Only without Lee Majors.
Is Scrooge the one that had Ryan Reynolds in it?
No. You're thinking of
Scrooge is Bill Murray.
Yeah, Scrooge is Bill Murray. Let me figure out that one.
80s, I think.
The one with Ryan Reynolds is surprisingly good. If you haven't seen it, you should, because it was awesome.
1000%.
Spirited. It has musicals with Ryan Reynolds and the guy that played Elf singing along.
Will Ferrell.
And dancing. Will Ferrell dancing and singing.
That's 2 reasons for me to skip it.
No. You should watch it because it is amazing.
Scrooged is one of the all-time best Christmas movies, and it's so underrated. So underrated. I love that movie.
Great film. So Scrooge, that's just a take on A Christmas Carol. And then It's a Wonderful Life is not, it's sort of a take. It's the same bit of stopping and assessing your existence and what would have happened with or without people, with or without you in certain people's lives. And then the effects of that. So that, I mean, that winds up being a really, really common theme, because how many times does the whole Christmas Carol thing get done and redone, and yet it sells constantly.
Because it hits a theme that touches people. And that's how you sell stories, is you touch the people that want to consume it. And Paul, that's not that kind of touching. So get your mind out of the gutter.
Or that kind of consumption.
That too.
Y'all are just replacing all these rules on my creativity.
Replacing the rules or placing them?
Placing. I don't enjoy it.
So what? You're going to just have the black as the ghost of Christmas future and, No. Change your ways. No.
I want to see the Hogwarts Christmas special.
Well, and that's the thing. People will claim that some of the Harry Potter movies are Christmas movies.
They were always released at the time.
They're always released at the time, but there's always a the early ones, there's a mid-school year celebration where there is some kind of Yule-esque thing going on.
Mm-hmm. It would really work well.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to create boundaries for me. No, they don't. Apart from me is practicing demonic magics.
People that believe that are just being a little too narrow-minded. You're welcome to your own opinion about if Harry Potter is selling the soul of the demons and the devil, but I don't think I'm going to fall into that particular category of thinking.
I think if you're still watching this show, we've already passed on that particular demographic.
Behavior.
I could be wrong, but I doubt it somehow, some way. I don't know. That is a question, though. How far can you go before you end up crossing a ton of lines? And it doesn't matter what religion it is. How close can you get crazy? How crazy can you get before you totally blur the lines and really piss some people off?
So that would mean
you're always going to piss people off.
That would mean the Wicca Christmas is right out the door.
A Wiccan would not want to celebrate Christmas anyway.
I know, that's the kind of purpose I celebrate. I selected them for this Christmas role. It would offend just about everybody involved some way or another.
It's when the witches give presents to the witch hunters. Yeah, that happens.
We could dress the Dementors in little Christmas Santa uniforms.
Oh, yeah,
hats
that'd be
stuff.
badass. Those little Santa hats running around.
You'd hear them coming because they'd be jingling?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that'd be even creepier, though, if you heard a whole bunch
Wouldn't
of them.
it, though?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, they said they traveled in numbers. Oh, shit!
You know, and since the bad guy doesn't have a nose, you could go ahead and put the red Rudolph nose on him. No?
Nope.
I'm gonna be
I would
nightmares. Thank you very much.
Now, granted, or you could like capitalize on like lesser known Yuletide things. So like we know there's a good number of Krampus themed movies,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So Terry, why don't you have a Yule cat?
Ooh.
Well, the cats could certainly destroy every Christmas tree in sight if the thing came along.
I'm just saying that the Yule cat's supposed to like go around and, eat the people that don't wear the clothes they got for Christmas.
Yeah, Krampus.
Just,
Krampus has been made into some severe horror movies the last couple of years. I think there's one that's like an turns it into like an eldritch horror demon kind of thing.
I'm gonna wait for the Krampus paranormal romance.
Wow.
Like the monster under the bed sort of thing, where he's really, really grumpy, but deep down there's a heart of gold.
In the bed, I guess. I guess that's not paranormal romance. That's something else entirely.
That's Bigfoot.
Bigfoot porn.
That's a whole other genre.
Can I just say that?
Now I'm wondering.
Rather unfortunate name. We'll just go with that. What else? Have we plumbed the depths of this particular annoying topic? God damn it. Still getting used to this mic, pardon me.
Clearly.
Kissed by Krampus, V. Kissed by Krampus. There you go. That's the book you need to write.
I think I will pass on that one.
Isn't he like a nasty, wrinkled up, shriveled up, horrible looking thing?
Literary license. You could come up with it however you wanted. I'm just saying. Oh, it's already written. Oh.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Rule 34.
Yeah, Rule 34. That was a pretty shallow pull to start with. You are correct there.
I wonder if there's an audiobook for it.
That would be pretty damn funny. Oh, holy night in derelict land. That is really scary.
It is. It is.
And on the various channels inside the Discord, in the general channel, I posted a what was it to it? The song. I've forgotten what song I posted, but it
War Pigs.
It was to War Pigs, the music, but it was, I forget what song it was. Now I have to look because I've forgotten. La la la. It was. Come on, where are you going? Stop rolling. Come back.
Oh, Deck the Halls.
Deck the Halls, but with the music from War Pigs. Because it fits. Believe it or not, it actually fits.
Now I have to go listen to War Pigs. That will happen. They have 3 cats.
I mean,
I still can't believe after all these books that Terry does not have a cat in his books.
The next series will have a cat.
Yeah, and there's at least one. There's a cat in Humanity Unlimited.
There is, and I never got a chance. I never got a chance to utilize it to the extent that I wanted to. Because
you have never utilized a cat as a plot device, though, have you?
I intended to use a cat as a plot device in Humanity Unlimited, but didn't get a chance to. But in the next series that I'm going to write, I will be utilizing a cat as a plot device and as a point of view character.
I can't wait to read this. I really can't. Now I have to read this book.
I personally am wondering how many books I can keep it going without the other characters realizing that the cat is smart.
Mm-hmm. Cats figure heavily in Garrus Inferno. Yes, they do. So do dogs. That's a hint for other books that are coming.
I don't know. The series that I'm narrating right now, there's only one point of view because it's first person, but the talking cat is pivotal to the plot. And my vocal direction says he sounds like a Benedict Cumberbatch, just without the British accent.
How do you have a Benedict Cumberbatch without the accent?
The
I can't even imagine it.
The same.
Essentially, you just sound extremely bored and
extremely
incredibly put off. And you imagine yourself just lying somewhere on a ledge and sunning yourself because humans are so tedious.
So we don't have him with the Doctor Strange New York accent?
Dear God, no. No.
I've forgotten about that. I've forgotten about that horror.
That was an accent, wasn't it? Not a good one, but it was an accent.
It was a choice.
If I remember, it kind of like faded away, though, right? It did a Kevin Costner thing over the film.
I don't remember.
So
I can't
Costner
tell you.
Switched 3 or 4 times, whereas I think his just faded out. I could be wrong about that. Anyway. Strange decisions made that we have no idea why. War Pigs and Poor Wigs Christmas special. War Pigs and Poor Wigs.
Could be done.
I like that. Yeah, Snuppy, that's what I'm thinking too. What does the inner monologue sound like of a cat?
See, that's going to be a tough one to do. When I finally bring it around to where I've got the internal monologue point of view of a cat, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to present this. I've got a lot of examples to draw from and imagining how a cat thinks, but even though it's intelligent, it is not a human being. It is definitely going to be thinking differently than a human would. And in the first couple of books, the cat will be there, but it won't have a point of view at all. It'll just do things in the background. And then maybe in book 3 or 4, I'll start having, once the readers have caught on that there's something more to the cat, then I'll start having little snippets of point of view from the cat as it does things. But the characters will still be completely unaware of what's going on. And I just wonder how far I can go without doing the reveal. It'll become a game at some point of how I can keep this charade going.
Without the humans catching on.
Without the cat revealing himself to the humans. And that's what it's going to come down to. The cat is not going to deign to reveal his presence to the humans. He cares about what happens to them, sort of, because they provide the food and they're entertaining, but he still wants to have his privacy. He doesn't trust them all the way.
Yep, sounds like a cat, doesn't it? Yeah, Shadow agrees. Those are fun moments, though, like even getting into the head of M2. How does M2, an M2 entity, see the world? And how do they put shapes together? How does their brain interpret the environment around them? Especially if you've got, say, you're looking at the world from a dozen eyes. What does that look like?
I have no idea.
When you're talking about a brain that can process all that sensory information from that, or thousands of appendages, it's not something that we can even go for. All you can do is generalizations and make them.
What kind of senses? I mean, it may not be the basic 5 that we're accustomed to. There may be other senses and sensations.
One of the things that's bugging me about Vegas this year is I told an author that was there that I was going to go ahead and use him as a template for the assistant to the bad duelist. And I'd forgotten who it was. I can't remember who I was talking to when I did that. And I'm like, God, who was that? I should have wrote it down.
Patrick Tebby.
No, he's already had his moment in the sun. It's not him.
I would say, after all the slights he has suffered all the indignities he has suffered at your hands, he is due another round.
I don't know about that. We'll see. It may come back to me. I may have to make a post on Facebook. I can't remember. Who the hell was it?
Which one of you chumps was I talking to about this?
But I'm going to go ahead and name the cat Shadow. So there, it's my hat tip to you.
Aw. I'll tell him. He will be very pleased with that.
Little black troublemaker.
Yeah. Yeah. My little ghost tabby. He is most definitely troublesome. Well, what else is going on? What do y'all have to ask in the last 4 minutes of the show? I want us to babble about. An accidental cat mind uploaded into Skynet. See, that's how the world ends, right there. You can put a cat in charge of nuclear weapons, and it'll just be like, fuck it.
Ooh, red dot. Wham. That's what it'll be.
I'm annoyed today. Bam. Cats don't understand consequences. They don't have a clue. They don't have a concept of what a consequence is. They just know there's either do this or do not do this. What if the world got better? Yeah, I'm thinking that's fantasy. But it'd be nice. It would be nice. I definitely considered the other day somebody had written a diatribe themselves about the fact that you could get rid of CEOs and you get rid of politicians just by using machine learning.
Yeah, sadly, that is not the case.
And the idea that they would be able to actually process inputs faster and more reliably than politicians can, when all they have to do is rely upon staffs who are unknowledgeable and only get their information from lobbyists.
Sadly, efficiency is not the goal of the people that you're talking about.
I understand that it's not about talking reality. It's about talking about concepts. It's about talking about theory. It is an interesting thought experiment to go down of how much better it would be if there was an entity or entities that could process the information and call bullshit at the lobbyists without having to have an educated staff, which no politician apparently is ever going to have.
The only way that I can see improving our political structure is if we go ahead and emulate the Japanese parliament and have fistfights between the politicians.
I did that in Canada too.
They tried to.
Why does everyone here mock JR? Who is he or she? Sorry, I've been going through your older episodes too.
JR's an easy target. JR Handley's an easy target. That's why we give him shit, because we like him.
And because he constantly obsesses about Jared being the hero of the Empire of Bones and it being his story, which apparently he's very wrong about, and I would agree with that from what I've read of the books. Yeah, easy target. What are you going to do with him? Bullshit and politician and their staff is redundant. You're probably right. There is a book, a story that Asimov wrote, which is in iRobot. It's in that collection, which is about an AI politician, who's the leader of the world, who's an android. So it's really interesting concepts.
But there are a handful of lit RPGs that wind up having that as a premise, that in the world is now being run by some AI construct for the purpose of
just management,
streamlining decisions, distribution of wealth and assets, etc. And they always want to overthrow it.
In the Matrix, the robots went ahead and reset the Earth timeline to the late 1990s because it was the peak of human civilization. Everyone laughed, and here we are 20 some odd years later going, maybe there was a point there.
Nah, because we hadn't discovered streaming yet in earnest.
JR is not dead.
No, he's not dead.
Although I've killed him several times in my books, he is not dead.
No, we've he's shown up in books, but we've shown up in his, so it's all good. Yeah, in case you didn't know this, we kill people constantly in our books that we know.
JR begged me to give him a bloody, messy death, so I used a plasma cannon and evaporated him completely. Not a single molecule of him left, not one blood drop. That's how I roll.
Because Terry aims to please.
Because I aim to just frustrate him.
No, you aimed to kill and obliterate. What are you talking about?
He died on he had a space toilet fall on him in somebody else's book. I think that was pretty funny.
Well, if you have a comment...
He was at a brothel and had a toilet fall on him and kill him before he could seal the deal. How rough is that?
If you have a question or comment about JR's exquisite or not so exquisite corpse, you can send an email to show@debrobotssociety.com. You can find me on Mastodon at Paul_E_Cooley at VYRSE.social. You can find us at YouTube at youtube.com/DRS podcast. You can find us on Facebook at, what the hell are we?
Can't you remember?
No, I can't. I really need to write this down.
The Dead Robot Society writing community.
Thank you. You can find us there because it's this place I don't ever really go, but I'm there. So I'll listen to you if you're there. I already said YouTube. And if you want to support the show, you can find us at YouTube. Man, I've got a problem. You can find us at patreon.com/DRS podcast and buymeacoffee.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive live shows like the one we got going on in about 10 minutes.
Before we go, since Rick Shaw said, despite my pleas, you haven't killed me yet, Rick, you're not the one I promised I was going to make an assistant to the bad duelist in my next series, were you? I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it you?
You believe this? Paul is rapidly joining the gray hair because the gray matter is being sucked out group. Dude, my hair has been growing gray since I was 30s. Careful what you wish for, Rick. And at the $10 level, you get your name read, and our $10 patrons are, because I'm not going to let Terry interrupt me again. Tony L. Joy, Rick Shaw, Lisa Slack, Isabel Cushing, and Tim Niederreiter. Thank you to all of our patrons for making this show possible.
Yeah, he's not even going to answer. He's just going to sit there and just sit on his silence.
See, this is what we're talking about. This has been a long time coming. All right, we are out of here. If you're a patron, we'll see you in about 8 minutes. And the rest of you, we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at 3 p.m. CST next week.